Wednesday, November the 6th. Lake level, it's kind of going crazy. We got a ton of rain this weekend. The whole area did. But see, right now I think it's like 916, which had come up 5 feet in the last 2.5, 3 days. Bull Shoals has come up about 8 or 9 feet. Beaver Lake's come up a bunch as well. They haven't started running any water yet, a little bit of generation, but I don't know if they're going to get the lakes back up to normal pools before they, start running water, or, it could be with all the rain they got in Arkansas, they're having trouble downstream of Bull Shoals with all the water. So anyways, I think in a few days there's probably going to be some current, and, that should help a lot of the bite out on the main lake. I went out this morning. I hadn't been out for a couple days. Fished most all last week and last weekend, but the water temperature, it didn't cool down very much. It's still 63, 64 degrees. In the water, I put in and fished around Kimbling. It's still, extremely clear. I don't know how bad the rivers are trashed out with all the rain. I know the water level at Galena, it's come up about 3 feet, so it's doubled what it normally is over there. And the Kings River, I seen some pictures of it. It was rolling mud, so I'm sure a lot of them areas, there's a lot of debris and a lot of color. But I imagine whenever they start moving water out of Table Rock, it'll probably bring some of that stain further down to the mid-lake. But fishing was, it's still hard, it's still tough. But there were really good weights this past weekend in the Anglers in Action Championship. It's still hard. We had probably 7, 8 keeper bites each day, but we had really good weight. We're fortunate. We caught the majority of our fish all shallow. Now, when I went out today, there's still a decent drop shot bite as far as numbers of fish, and it seems like they're out there on the bluff ends, out on the long flat gravel points. A lot of people still catching fish on Damiki rigs. A lot of the worms that have been working well for me are these little missiles, a 4-inch mini worm. And I really like this. It's a morning dawn color, but they've also got like a PBJ that's been working, and a plum. The chompers worms will work real well, especially that. Oh, it's a plum brown laminated. It's a good little worm. But anyways, those are the ones that I've got the most confidence in. And it seems like the fish are anywhere from 25 to as deep as 45 feet. Some of the ones I caught today were on the tops of trees, and I did catch a couple dead on the bottom about 35 feet. It seems to be quite a bit of bait out there. Then I went shallow for a little bit right around Kimberling. Like I say, water clarity, probably about 7 or 8 feet. But once the wind picked up a little bit, I caught a few fish on a extreme glide bait. And that's what we caught the majority of our fish on this past weekend in the tournament. We caught them on 3 or 4 different baits, but most of what we weighed came on an extreme glide bait. We did have some that we weighed on a Strike King Sexy Dog and a bone color, but we had also caught fish off shallow docks on a jig, and a few on a square reel, but none of those seemed to help us. The ones we weighed in came on the glide bait and Sexy Dog. But there's a lot of fish shallow, and like I say, when the wind came up today, I went into a couple creeks around Kimberling and caught a couple good glide bait fish and seen a lot more than what I caught. So this past weekend, we had perfect conditions for fishing shallow. It was, windy, cloudy, sometimes a little too much wind. But, right now, with it pretty slick in the morning, I think you can go back in a lot of these creek arms shallow with like a weight bait. I like to throw this little Spro Cyclone Junior. If there's not much ripple on the water, or some type of wake bait. With most of these baits, I'm not burning them like a buzz bait. I'm fishing them, pretty slow, or a walking bait like a spook or sexy dog. Another bait you can use back there too is a little square bill. I really like this Spro Hunter 65. One I've got on here is a bluegill pattern, because there are quite a few bluegill back in there. You know, the fish that are up there dead shallow, it seems like, from what we figured out, they want a bigger bait. You know, so a little bit bigger square bill, bigger bait like the glide bait seems to work a little bit better. But like I say, you'll see a lot more fish than what you'll actually catch back there. But if you got the right conditions, you can pick up a whopper plopper, buzz bait, and even in that real clear water, you can catch them. But if it seems like it's a bluebird day, high skies, probably the best way is out there either Demiki rigging or drop shotting. I think once they start moving some water, I think that football jig bite's going to get better, like in that 25 to 35 foot range. And I know I've been saying it for several weeks, but whenever that water starts to cool down, the shallower bite is going to get better and better. And I know this past weekend there were several people caught their fish on rock crawlers and wiggle warts. I think as the water cools down, that's going to get better and better as well. There's a lot of fish caught on Alabama rigs too, out there deep and over treetops. So it's still kind of a little bit of everything. You just got to take what you got the most confidence in and just stick with it. But I think there's a lot of things going to change in the next week with the water on the rise like it is. We'll see if they keep the lake level up or if they sucker back down. If they sucker back down, you're going to see a lot of that stained water that's up in the rivers come down to the mid-lake area, which should help out on the shallow bite. And if temperatures ever start to cool down, lake level temperatures drop, the bite will get more consistent. But, the quality, we fished tournaments the last 3 weekends, Bull Shoals, Legged Ozarks, and Table Rock. And, Table Rock by far produced, I think, more and bigger fish. Normally Lake of the Ozarks does, but it's been extremely tough up there. And I don't know how it was up there this past weekend. Maybe it picked up and he got really good. But I was really impressed Sunday with the amount of, 15, 16 pound bags that came in. There was some really good fish to come in. So till next week, good luck, good fishing.